Hey guys, it's Miss Cáceres. Welcome back again. So for class today, as usual, let's start with our heading, shall we? Name, date, grade, and section. Also remember you can add English class below name or Mrs. Cáceres English class, whichever of those you prefer. Then you leave space for your topic or your title. And then we focus on objective and I can statement. Our objective for today is still to analyze the structure and use of irony in a sonnet and how to recognize irony in poetry. That's our I can statement. So remember, if you need time to copy this, you can always rewind or pause the video. So since we've read the poem and done all of the work, now it's time to make sure that you guys understood the poem itself. So we're going to check your understanding. Question 1. Which line reveals, demonstrates, or shows us that the poem speaker is sending an email? Is it line A, from Robert B. at mailexcite.com? B, please find her with as proof of my esteem. C, to unwrap blooms and place in a vase, use drag. Or D, petals won't wilt to husk nor leaves to slime. So pick the one you think demonstrates or reveals that it's an email, and we'll check it later. Check your understanding too. To smell the flowers, what does the recipient need to do? F, click on cellophane and press Control. G, highlight the print and click on Encrypt Reverse. H, use drag. Or J, press Delete. Choose your answer, and then we'll check later. And number 3, for check your understanding, according to the speaker, in what way are the online flowers better than real ones? A, they are fresh and virtual. B, they come with a message. C, they will last forever. Or D, they can easily be deleted. So pick your answer, and we'll check in class. Now it's time to analyze the text. Analyzing the text will support your responses with evidence. You have to support your responses with evidence from the text. Give it a second. Sometimes it takes a while to load. Here we go. First, analyze the text. 1, cite evidence. Which words and phrases in the poem reveal that this is a love sonnet? You're looking for words and phrases that demonstrate it's a love sonnet. Remember that if you don't have enough space in your textbook to do this, you can always do it in your notebook with the heading analyze the text, and the page number, please. Number 2, analyze which types of irony are used in the sonnet. Give examples from the poem. So you guys have to actually write down the examples where you found irony. 3, compare. How are the last 6 lines of Interflora different from the rest of the poem in form? How does this compare to more traditional sonnet forms? Really think about that. You're comparing here, guys. 4, synthesize. The 19th century British poets Robert and Elizabeth Barrett Browning shared one of the most famous and passionate romances in the history of literature. How does this fact add to the humor of Interflora? So what they're practically asking you guys is to think about the fact that these two were married. They were both poets and writers, and they wrote the most passionate and famous ones in literature. So how is that fact humorous to us compared to Interflora? And 5, infer. What theme or message about technology does the poet's use of irony suggest? Remember what theme is, guys. It's the message that the writer is trying to convey to us, trying to demonstrate to us. It's not the main idea. Don't confuse the two. We have a research activity here at the bottom. This will be your homework assignment. You can find it in Google Classroom. You can do it in your notebooks, or you can do it in your textbook or Word document, whatever you guys prefer. Interflora was published in 1994. Since then, much has changed about the way people use the internet in their daily lives. With a partner, but in this case on your own, research the differences between technologies today and technologies from the time period in which this poem was written, which was in the 90s. So you guys have to investigate what technology was like in the 90s and what technology is like today. And you have to specifically answer these questions. What devices could people use to connect to the internet in the mid-1990s? How did people communicate overseas in the 1990s? And could you use the internet to order flowers in 1994? You're going to use these same questions. The only thing you have to change is the year. You would have to go, instead of mid-1990s, you would have to put 2000s. And instead of 1990s overseas in the 1990s, 2000s. And again, could you use the internet to order flowers in the year 2000? So that's basically going to be a homework assignment. I thought it was important too that we got into a little bit more about what irony is, in case you guys have forgotten, because we did cover this last year. And also for those who are new, I don't know if they've seen it before, so it's better if we, be safe than sorry. Irony. Well, isn't that ironic? What is irony? Irony is a figure of speech that means something either more or different than what the others actually say. Many times the meaning is actually the opposite of what the speaker is saying. There are 3 types of irony like we talked about before: verbal irony, situational irony, and dramatic irony. Verbal irony is when the statement means the opposite of what it should. Example, there is no lake at Camp Green Lake. See how ironic that is? How can there be no lake? By naming a Camp Green Lake, you would expect there to be a lake. Situational irony. Situational irony is when the statement seems odd considering the situation a character is in. Example, the comment Stanley makes about dying of thirst. He is standing in the middle of a dried up lake bed where people may have drowned. So that's a situational example of irony. Dramatic irony. Dramatic irony is when the statement is ironic because the reader knows something the speaker does not. Example, Stanley's image of Mary Lou being a beautiful girl in a bikini. Well, that's not very nice, when we know that Mary Lou was actually a donkey. Not a real girl. She was a donkey. So that's dramatic irony. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Holes, but it's one of my favorite books. You might have seen the movie. If not, I invite you to read the book or a short version of it, or maybe even watch the movie. There are some similarities with the movie and the book and differences, as you'll always find when they do a live version of a book. Much of the irony in Holes is dramatic irony because we, as the reader, knows far more than Stanley does. Here's another example of that. The fact that Zero's real name is Hector Zeroni means nothing to Stanley. But what does it mean to us? Intriguing. What are some other examples of dramatic irony in Holes? I want you guys to look that up. That's going to be an extra credit assignment for you. I want you guys to tell me what other dramatic irony examples can you find in the book Holes, or even the movie if you prefer. Well, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the class. I'll see you next time. Make sure to do all of your homework. Have a great day. Bye.